It looks like we're being live streamed, so I believe we're live. So welcome to anyone who's tuning in or watching the replay to the next segment of A Day of Light and Love, which is an annual event that I get the opportunity to host and have contributors from literally around the globe. This will be I don't know. Are you the first that's in the US? No, the second. Sharon Brewer is in the US. We've been all over the place. And it's really wonderful because the one thing that you all have in common is the wisdom, the leadership and the wisdom that you bring to the the event and to the people watching. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself, but I do want to say this. Yvonne, you're someone who has been incredibly contributory to my own personal growth, my personal expansion, my own understanding and wisdom, and all of that. You've been my teacher, you've been my mentor, you've been a friend. Um, you've been a co-collaborator. It's pretty cool actually how you wear all these different hats really, really well, and you're always giving, and I really appreciate that about you. And I'd like you to, in a new moment of time, introduce you to the audience that's watching.
Well, hi everyone. First of all, thank you for having me back again. I was with you when you were conceiving this baby, the day of light and love. I was with you. I got to witness. I feel a little bit like a doula, right? Like a doula or support of
Yes.
supporting because you had the idea and everything. And so it's so wonderful. How many years has it been?
This is our eighth.
Wow.
You've been with me the whole time.
Yeah, like this is, I feel like it's an 8 year old, but how powerful it is. It feels every year feels more special. And I told you that this year feels particularly mystical and magical. There is some kind of tone of this day of light and love that is different. And I don't, how very specific I am with like exclamatory words. But this year it did feel like ordained. It felt like divinely directed. And so I'm diving into that. And so first of all, before saying what I do and who I am, my name is Ivonne de la Flor, and I'm wearing a beautiful Christmas sweater that my whole family is wearing with me and my dog. So I just wanted to share that because I feel it's very special. Usually you don't wear this when you're going to speak, but for me, I know that Day of Light and Love will be important just to share something that has value for us, which is the connections, right? Which is the people, which is the animals in our life. So my name is Yvonne de la Flor. I have served my community for over now 25 years. I'm a philanthropist, producer, author, published author. I'm a speaker, and also I'm a mom, besides, being a content creator, teacher that mostly falls into the niche of spirituality. I've trained in many modalities, as you know, Jeannie. I'm the creator of a system called Transcendental Rebirthing, Futuring Now. I'm also a master training of Futuring, something that we have enjoyed over the years, you and I exploring. And I have certified in many modalities, have had and always will have mentors, and have been able to produce and create a TV network that lasted 8 years, that I felt it was right to close. And it's just amazing, producer, podcast host, and all of that. But that's what I do. Those are the venues that existence has given me the allowance and the permission, in a way, in a divine way, to serve the community. And first of all, I'm a mom. I love being a mother, and that's been a driving force behind a lot of the things I do. And of course, my driving force for everything else is God, which is taking my faith into action. And someone just interviewed me and saying, like, what is your why? What is your fuel? I was like, you know what? I have a challenge with that question because I have the same thing. My response is, my why is faith, helping people take their faith into action. My what is faith. And the how is in the hands of God. It's in the how of, like, we will do the work, but it's still faith. So that's a brief thing of me, because, as you know, my bio is quite extensive and even confusing sometimes. But that's a little bit of what I do with who I am.
Wonderful. Yeah, I love that. The three little components that all led back to faith.
Everything is faith for me. Everything has been I've been led by faith. My why is faith. How can I help people get their faith into action purposefully? We're going to talk a little bit about that today. And the basis of that is faith. So it's like it's being someone told me that it's kind of boring. I'm like, yeah, try getting your faith into action. You are going to be zero bored.
Yeah, there'll be nothing boring about that.
Oh no, nothing.
So carry on. I'm listening.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
curious to know. I know that you gave me the title of the segment. It's your turn.
It's your turn, and I want people to feel it. So if you allow me, I just want to promise people something. In this little talk, I think we have 30 minutes, correct?
Yes.
Which is always, your I love to come to your event because I have a challenge talking short. So every time I come to your event, every year that I come to your event, thank you for inviting me, by the way, it's such an opportunity for me to be more succinct. So I'm like, this year I'm going to get it, and I prepare, I write it down and all of that, no matter where I am. So, but thank you. So we chose a thing called It Is Your Turn. And, over more than 20 years, I've been doing rebirthings for people, physical rebirthings, that is somatic work that includes family constellations. I'm a therapist of that, and that helps people kind of meet their past. And I know you were talking with someone, I think it was Severin, and it was beautiful how you guys said, the parking of the past, but you can visit the car. I love that. I love that. I was on the go, but I heard that. And we can rewire and revisit some aspects of the past to get the golden nuggets where they were lost. And so I help people with that. I help people rebirth. I help people be more actualized, more new into the now, and use whatever has happened, Jeannie, because we cannot tell people to put under the rock something. We cannot tell people that something didn't happen, because it did. But if we can use that for fuel, if we can use that to kind of build the mud of the here and now, to grow the lotus, which can only be birthed here and now, I'm in for that. So for years, I've done these rebirthings, years of family constellations, and I have noticed something very powerful. When you tell someone that it is their turn, and you can feel it in my voice, to really is their turn in life. The amount of people, hundreds of people that I've had in my arms that get it, that they are alive, that they have an opportunity to make amends, to heal, to serve. It's unbelievable. So in this little chat, we're gonna go over like what it is, what is it to experience in the body, the phrase, which I think is a very magical, it's kind of an incantation. It's a kind of a summoning of the soul. It is your turn. So we're gonna go over three important aspects of It Is Your Turn. Then we're going to do a short power imagery process, which is a micro input to macro output for your subconscious mind to help you with this. Embody this, what it is to be my turn. Is it selfish to embody my turn? Is it, am I not spiritual? A lot of Zen and spiritual traditions tell you have to eradicate the I. I get it. But I get it, but I still have to find out who I am. And then when I find out who I am and who I'm here to become to be, then I can play with all of that of letting it go, getting enlightened, experiencing samadhi, and serving the community in a more selfless way. Okay, that's the second thing we'll see here, and it's not going to take that much time. And the third thing we're going to do like summary, right? A little conclusion for everyone. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, so there are three aspects of It Is Your Turn. Now, it is very challenging for people. Sometimes these holiday seasons, these in the calendar, Gregorian calendar, fabricated sometimes seasons. And I want to be very respectful because I know that very religious people really go by the Gregorian calendar. However, if we go by the organic calendar, we really don't know what happened when, right? But we do know that for people, what happens in their mind is missing people. What happens in their mind is maybe they don't have money. What happens in their mind, there's a lot of comparison, or what happens in their mind is a lot of celebration. All of them had the right to exist. Now, in these holy days, days of the holy, days of the sacred, it's kind of a summoning of our minds to explore what holy means to us and taking our turn in life, knowing that it is not selfish for me to actually be embodied as an entity, as an individuated source of consciousness. You know, we are individuation of consciousness. We are individuated grace, right? So the number one is when we really feel, when someone tells us that really believes in Jeannie, I have not seen anyone that's saying, if someone tells me, oh, Ivonne, it's your turn, and it's just here in their head, they don't know what it means. They are not engaged in the nervous system. Their very bones, their very blood, their very essence knows that, wow, you know how I know it is your turn, Jeannie, right now to lead this event? Because I know it is not my turn to lead it. And in that not knowing of not my turn, it's my turn to be a guest of yours, it's my turn to share this. But in that knowingness of like, I know it's not my turn, I know it is your turn. You can feel the respect, you can feel the grace. And in that, I'm having a turn of, wow, I get to be the student, I get to be the guest, I get to offer this to people. So number one, you gotta know your turn in the aspect of knowing when it's not your turn. And this is such an important aspect of leadership. And if people will get it, like, oh my gosh, it's not my turn to be a teenager anymore. It's not my turn to be, like I don't know. It's not my turn to be dancing all around if I have a challenge, for example, an injury, or it's not my turn to go to first grade when it's the turn of my grandkids. You know, as soon as I know that, I can lead more clearly. Because when people want them all the time to be their turn, I want to be the first one. I want to be the speaker. I want to be the teacher. I want to be the one that everybody praises. Good luck with that. That's hell. Because that produces entanglements and entitlements in the mind. And that creates a lot of grudges. I grudge my mother. I grudge my ex-mentor or a friend or a former friend. And whatever you have a grudge in, it shows you that you are not either taking your turn of responsibility of where you have to take it, or you are actually trying to step into someone else's turn because you don't have the courage to see what is going on for you. And that's challenging, you know, and that's challenging, and that's for the brave, and it takes courage. You know, we have a group of 108 people that we are exploring and studying Zen, Z-E-N, Rinzai Zen way in Latin America. And one of the main teachings of the core of Zen practice is that Zen happens in the body. And it happens in your body, it happens in your mind, it happens in you knowing every aspect of your being. And so I always say, like, if you really want to take your full turn in life, know when it is not your turn. Know when it is not your turn to be like asking from people that you haven't invested in. Know when it is not your turn to lead. Let the people that are present lead. It's okay. Not leading in that with that awareness is leadership. You know, it's like, I got to hand out the leadership right now skills to Jeannie, but now I am going to be in the role of supporter. So it's very, you know, it will take me, this is a teaching for life, right? Because it takes a while to feel it like, oh, it's not my turn. And then it is my turn now. When you take your turn, it is a full belief mode on of possibilities. The moment you say it is my turn, it's like you ignite the button on of possibilities in your subconscious mind. And that unleashes hope, all the, you know, even in the midst of grief, which you and I are very, you know, we have visited the house of grief often, right? Or fear. The moment I realize, wow, I'm alive, it is my turn, I enter the possibility of joy. I enter the possibility of healing. I enter the possibility of forgiveness and of connection. And it's an incredible thing. And again, I tell you, I have had hundreds of people in my arms. and the eyes, how much light they have when not only I tell them, you know, whose turn is it? I'd never tell them it is your turn. And they say, it's my turn. Then I echo back, it is your turn. It is incredible. So that's number one. And number two, when you take your turn, you have the ability to ask for support. Because when you are not in your turn, you're going to be ashamed. I should be leading. I should be courageous. But when you know who you are, when you know that's your turn right now, maybe to be injured, maybe to have grief, you will ask for support. And that's a very challenging skill of leadership. Good leaders, I believe, they know how to be vulnerable and how to ask for support, how to say no, how to say yes. And it's such a shenanigans being a leader. But if you are feeling lonely in this season or struggling, I'm going to tell you something today. It is your turn to reach out, to ask for help, to connect with someone. And this day of light and love is that. This is a turn to connect with us, to lean into a community, the community of light and love. And a reminder, when you take that turn, like, wow, my turn is right now to ask for support. It feels uncomfortable, but this is a good reminder where vulnerability is strength. And the third one is your turn, as I said at the beginning, to know what is not yours. Again, I'm going to repeat this because it is so important. It's like, because in there, we have that as much as it is your turn to step forward and be responsible for your creation, that's going to be 100% of the time. It is equally important, Jeannie, to know when it's not your turn, because maybe it's not your turn to carry someone else's burdens. To support them, yes, but it's their turn to carry them. It's not your turn to clean validated stories or roles. I mean, you and I know, like once upon a time, like this, that, and you were like, okay, kind of clingy, but it's okay. And sometimes, as I said, it's not your turn to lead. And sometimes it's not your turn to rescue your children. They have to go through their stuff. You just have to be there for them. Sometimes it's not your turn to rescue friends. They mess up, let them deal with their mess, even though you're still responsible to clean up after the stuff that you are going to have to clean. It's not your turn to carry the burdens of your ancestors. It's not your turn to carry the burdens of what society tells you. It's not your turn to be who someone else wants you to be in order to please them. It is your turn to be free.
That's good.
When you take your Jenny, you learn to pause. That's when you learn to slow down. And that's when we get to grow. Not all the seeds bloom at the same time. Everything has its timing. Everything is directed to natural law. And so have patience, everyone. Have kindness with yourself. Even though you're still in the pursuit, in the chase, or whatever you want to call it. When you take your turn, you begin to prioritize connections over fame. Your winning moments are no longer medals, but the time that you invested with others, or where you conquer a challenge in yourself, or when you were able to support others. For me, I have found that taking my turn, it becomes more richer, more solid when I'm at the service to others. It's a game changer. It's medicine for my soul. It's a guiding light for my path, and it lights my path in a way of light and love. So that's the turn. So that's why taking your turn is important, Jean.
That's really good. I like how you applied it's your turn or it's not your turn to carrying the burden for another.
Yeah.
To especially as a parent, not just necessarily of adult children, but it becomes a very dominant theme, or has in my own life, to recognize that it is not my turn to be the fixer. I mean, I would have liked to have learned that perhaps earlier in my children's lives, but thankfully I learned it early enough that they learned to be responsible, for their own turn. and their own advancement. So I like that when you talk about that. I think sometimes in friendships,
Mm.
um, especially if you have more of the leadership,
Role.
yeah, if you have the leadership, if leadership is an essence, the tendency is going to be to take 100% responsibility or 200% responsibility. And I've learned that in taking 200% responsibility, it means allowing people to have their turn.
100%. When you take responsibility, others are responsible too. And it's important because that you say take, not only take their turn, but also they're gonna take back their stuff. If they
Yeah.
mess up, they're gonna take back that. If they, because whenever we feel out of alignment, or whenever we feel like someone else should have given me,
Mm,
the shoulds, the entitlement process,
mm,
the
yeah.
church removes that, because even though someone will feel like that, like she should not say that, or he should have given me, or we got to honor people's choices,
Yeah.
and in that process we honor ourselves, and in
Yes.
that process of honoring ourselves, we are honoring the whole. And it's just, being human is an incredible eternal dance of learning. I don't know anyone that knows it all. I certainly don't, but I know that when it is my turn, when my child is suffering, it's my turn. It's my turn to be the mother. My turn to support them. When a friend is in need, and I'm full in my tank, I will show up for them. When I need support for myself, I will request it for myself, or I will take that to myself, because knowing my turn is knowing the turn of God. And one of the things it was revealed to me, when I take my turn, and when I know when it's not my turn, that is the heartbeat of the universe.
Mm,
You know,
it's good.
inhaling and exhaling, I'm like, I'm here. The heartbeat, you taking your turn, me taking my turn, we are
Yeah.
the heartbeat that keeps the universe going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good because that heartbeat has a down and like it's like in music, right? The beat.
Mhm.
There's a emphasis and then there's a relaxed beat and then there's an emphasis and relaxed beat. And the relaxed beat is when it's not our turn, but we're
Yeah.
still beating with it the whole time.
Mm. And the beauty of that, taking our turn, we continue to be connected with those that passed. We continue to be connected with that which is isn't. I don't want to go very spiritual here, but from the nothingness we come from, and nothingness we will return. This gig of life, as you know, it has like an expiration date. Even those who are like working on being immortal, even that, Eckhart Tolle always says that even the sun will die. And in the process that we're aware that we're having a turn living, in that moment, we're honoring those who passed. We are
Mm,
honoring those who are not here anymore. Through our life, we honor the continuation of not only the species, but the continuation of life and the continuation of love.
mm.
And that's when we want to say, it is my turn.
Yes. And even in it being our turn, in order to propagate the future and the legacy, we have to recognize when it's our children's turn.
100%. Like for me, I know it's the turn of my kids. I know it's the turn of my kids. And I feel so fulfilled. And you know how keen I am for fulfillment with that. I know how fulfilled I am with that, because it's their turn. And I'm happy to say it's not my turn. It's my turn to be their mother.
Yes,
And that's it. So let me know if we can do a power imagery process.
we can. Can I say one more thing?
Yes, it's
You
yours.
know, Denny's,
Currently, it is not my
you
turn.
know, Denny's, one of his reoccurring statements to me over the course of our time together until he didn't have to say it anymore was, hey, babe, you might want to get out of God's chair on that one.
Oh,
And I think that's an acknowledgement. Hey, babe, it may not be your turn.
that's
Right?
exactly it. And you always have shared of the God's chair. For all the mothers and the parents or the spouses suffering right now, because they think they should fix their kids, or they, let God in. Let God in, let faith in. This is transcending the turn. It's really it's because our attachment to fix it sometimes strangles that which we want to fix.
Ah, it's good.
And so, anyways,
I've lived that, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
yes, I know you and I are like wired in like the same, like, let's get it, let's get the mic drop from God, not from ours. We will receive it. I'll get the echo and we'll share it. But anyways, I am so honored today to share with you a very small exercise for everyone. This helps us kind of reprogram our subconscious mind. It's called PIP, Power Imagery Process, which is something that I learned from one of my teachers that he passed during COVID too. And he was a phenomenal trainer of the subconscious mind, a psychologist, psychiatrist, Dr. Jerry Epstein. And he died, but he left a legacy of power imagery processes. I was very privileged to study with him in New York and live and bring him to Mexico. And as many other teachers that we were able to bring to Mexico for the first time, like Chick Morman and so many others, thanks to an organization that I opened when I was 27, Jeanne. I'm 53, so you make the count. But these power imagery processes work with the philosophy of it's a micro input in our subconscious, like a drop of water, to create an ocean of possibilities. And this is called It Is Your Turn. And Jeanne gave me the permission to share my screen with you. All the listeners today and all the people that subscribe are going to receive a gift. It's a digital art code of absolute harmony. I work with sacred geometry for many years. The codes don't do anything to you. You are just going to use the code as a symbol of the day of light and love. It does have numerology, it does have intentions, but it's a tool for meditation. And I'm going to put it on the screen. I don't know if you can see it, everyone. As I guide you in the imagery process, so my request is wherever you are, if you are driving, please don't do that. Just come back and listen to the replay. But if you are sitting, please close your eyes and allow me to guide you. This is the imagery process called taking your turn. Because one of the things is knowing, but as Jeanne said, to take their turn. Take it. It's yours. So we close our eyes and we're going to do something called the reverse breath. We're going to start exhaling through the mouth, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, inhaling through the nose. And now breathe normally. I want you to imagine a doorway in front of you. This doorway represents a new beginning. Your turn to step forward into your best self. I invite you to see yourself carrying a very heavy bag. Inside the heavy bag are old fears, doubts, and stories that no longer serve you. Fill it up. Fill it up. Now I want you to place this bag gently on the ground. Let it go. Now imagine, see, feel, hear that you are stepping through the doorway. Feel the lightness as you cross into a space of possibility. And those of you who are opening your eyes, you can see the doorway, the center of the code. See yourself standing tall, feeling free and empowered, ready to take your turn in life. Ready to take your turn in life. And ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do this holiday, this moment, this day, to honor my turn. Let the answer come to you. Take another deep breath. And when you are ready, open your eyes. So just for all of you who know, this is not a visualization, it's not a meditation where we stay longer. Its purpose to be short is for that to engage the mind in a way that it doesn't take over. It's so short that the visual, you begin to enter into a deep state and then you come out because you want to bring it to the here and now. You want to embody that. It is your turn, so take it. So this holiday season, everyone, it is your turn to believe, to receive, and also to honor the life that is waiting for you. Honor the life of others, honor the turn of others, so that we can all step forward into 2025 with faith and courage. Courage is a word that I have been lately really brewing into, like tea. I really want you to know that every moment is indeed an opportunity, no matter how hard, how dark it is an opportunity to take your turn and to bless others for taking theirs. You cannot let them take their turn. They have to do that. But it's a blessing for everyone to have a turn in life because this helps us to be who exactly we were meant to be. So I hope this framework helps you to take action and that encourages you to reflect during these holidays and to do this power imagery process and ask, how can I honor my turn? Because by honoring your turn, you are honoring also the turn of others. And I promise you something, it's like granting beingness, Jeanne. When you know your turn, wow, I'm honoring my turn. The next time you see your child, your dog, your cat, a squirrel, a flower, a memory of a loved one, you're going to say, wow, I honor your turn, everyone.
Beautiful.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jeanne. I'm going to send Jeanne the power imagery process written. So anybody that signed up, you can have that with the sacred geometry code. And blessed Christmas, everyone.
It's beautiful. I thank you so much. That was a really great power imagery process. Thank you. We're going to say goodbye for now. And Ivonne, again, thank you for taking the time from your family today to be a part of the event and serve humanity like you always do. Thank you.
Thank you.